Speaking freedom, giving you the answers to be free. Be free.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's performance is about to begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show of Journey to Freedom with Speaking Freedom TV, of course, and I am your host, Dr. Kaci. Today, we have a special guest, Stephen. Hey, Stephen, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. I like my nephew always said, he's on top of the world. So yes, I am on top of the world today.
Okay, on top of the world.
Yeah,
Guess we sitting on
yeah,
top of the world together, huh? So,
yeah, exactly.
can you
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about yourself?
for sure. Dr. Casey, I think before I get to even talk about myself, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on this show. You know, the world as it is right now is becoming more selfish than ever. So
Mm-hmm.
to have people like you that dedicate their time, their life, so having platforms such as these to really inspire people to be more, dream more, and live more, I commend you for what you do. So thank you for giving me this opportunity today.
Thank you.
All right, great. Well, so my name is Stephen Dossou, and I'm originally from Togo, West Africa. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
speaker and coach. Yeah, I'm also an author. My company is called SailForce Catalyst. I'm actually speaking to you directly today from Portugal. I relocated to Europe about half a year ago after having lived in many countries around the world. But I'm going to dive into that story a little bit more. So I'm originally from Togo, West Africa, and that's where I grew up. You know, now I speak. I travel the world to inspire people, to use my story to inspire people to break free of fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem, which I believe are the three toughest demons of mankind. So as I was saying, I grew up in Togo, two-bedroom house, and yeah, it's been a very interesting journey to go from there to doing what I'm doing right now. You know, it has its ups and downs, but I'm gonna dive in a little bit more when we get into the interview or when you get to ask me about that. But in a nutshell, my life purpose is about inspiring others. It's about empowering others through the things that I say, through my personal journey, my personal story, and the books that I write and the formulas that I come up with, so that people can take those and embody those in their lives and literally break free of their fears, self doubt, and low self esteem and step into their purposeful life.
So, how did you get into your line of work?
Well. That's a long story, but let's get to it. So as I was saying, I grew up in a two-bedroom house with nine siblings. Okay, I mean when I say house, I'm just being modest, but I'm talking about literally, like a two-bedroom shack with nine siblings. So I know what it is to sleep on the floor. I know what it is to, fight space with cockroaches and mice. Be like, come on, we push a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I know what it is to walk miles to school, 5, 6, 7 miles, do it 3 or 4 times a day, and come back, have one meal, and go to bed and do it the following day. But even though I grew up in such precarity, there was something just in me, for whatever reason, some people call it the voice of God, which I believe it is, that told me that I could just be a little bit more than what my circumstances do me to be. So I looked at, how I went through school, and eventually I finished my high school at 15, was doing my first degree in economics around about 18. And I was like, look, here's my country where the basic salary is about $50 a month to today. And here are the things that I aspire to become. I don't really know, but I know that is something meaningful, something awesome, something that involves hundreds of thousands of people. And look, I was like, my environment is not going to enable me to do that. So I tried to immigrate to the US at the time. Visa was denied. I tried to get into Europe at the time. It was a no, no, no. So I was like, okay, where is the next best destination that could allow me this opportunity? So I looked around on the African map. I was like, okay, South Africa. But Dr. Casey, I'm talking to you today, but the reality is that time for me to take a flight from South Africa from Togo to South Africa, I didn't have the money. I had to save. I was gonna have to save like in 10 years for me to get there. So I was like, ma'am, listen, I'm talking to my mother right now. I'm like, ma'am, listen, whatever you can find, dad, whatever you can find it. I had my own and I'll get on the road. Okay. And I left home with less than $150 in my pocket. Dr. Casey, whatever that could get me, the next best destination in the continent of Africa. That was Congo at the time. And the rest was with my backpack in my back and from one country to the next, from border to border. All right. Now, that journey took me 18 months. Okay, and that includes getting into South Africa in the first few months, and the struggles and having days where there's no food, no place to call home, nobody to go to, days where you could face danger like this. I mean, let me tell you something. Going through some borders where, I mean, illegally, let me tell you something. It was dangerous, okay, because people were getting shot at. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, spending days where, 2, 3 days sometimes with no food, no water. I mean, when I got into South Africa, I thought that everything would just be rosy, but the truth, it was not. I mean, I slept on the floor, literally on the floor, on very tiny carbon pieces. Okay. I mean, I had to go to do security, piece jobs, anything you can ever think of. Any job you can call in your life, Dr. Kaci, I have done for the sake of surviving. Well, eventually, I was sleeping in a shack. The rent was like $20, but I couldn't even afford that. Okay, it was one of those shacks where mice would come. Those bodybuilding mice would come and eat your food and bully you on top. Those mice would come because it must be like, we know you broke. What are you gonna do?
Right, right.
Yeah. So I would wake up from that shack and go to the street hawking stand and do, hi, ma'am, how are you? Come closer. Let me sell you my apple. Wait, sir. Let me sell you my sweet. And one Wednesday afternoon, I mean, this gentleman approached me and was like, hey, Steve, listen. I mean, I see, how excited you come here every day. You might be going through a tough time, but I might just have an opportunity for you. Come the following day to Massmart, come for an interview. Now, Massmart is a division of Walmart in South Africa. Okay. And that's the case. What you were to go to the interview, I didn't have it because I had one jean, I washed it overnight, dried. Sometimes the room was not even dry, it would even be smelly. And the girls at the church would be looking at me funny. You know what I'm saying? So so I went to my friend Pastor, and he gave me a brand new shirt, a brand new trouser, and I wore them as if they were mine. The following day, I rocked up to the interview. The interviewer's name I remember very well. Her name was Isabel Kokumo, a blonde lady. As soon as I opened the door, I walked into the interview room. She saw me. She was like, whoa, how can you have so much confidence? Look, you've got the job. Got the job? What do you mean? What's the job? And she said, your job is to sell vacuum cleaners. I was like, what? What are those? What do you mean vacuum cleaners? Dr. Kaci, at the time, I had never seen vacuum cleaners in my life because we swept our home back home with brooms. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? This is real story. This is true stuff, real talk. So I was given a sales script. Okay, take this. Let's go down. Let me show you, what the machines are like. I play with them a little bit, plug them in, had the sound. Okay, good. This thing starts here, starts there. And I went home. I studied my script and I came back the following day. And from the following day, I worked for 3 years, nonstop, 7 days a week, 13, 14, 15 hours every day, doing, hi, ma'am, how are you? Come closer. If you can give me a moment at the time, I want to tell you why buying this vacuum cleaner is going to make your husband love you more. So I did that every day, every day, every day. And my persistence and my determination, like Of Mandino says, that failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. And without knowing, I got, an invite to just one morning by the head office and say, look, actually from another competing company that said, look, Steve, we come here on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and Friday, and Sunday. You are here doing the same thing, excited more than ever. Do you run on battery? I'm like, no, look, I am hungry. I am here to change my destiny. That's why I'm here. And he said, okay, how about you come to the top management and do just that? And now I go from being a vacuum cleaner salesperson to becoming an area manager, having my own team of 30 people and accounting of over $5 million sales yearly. 6 months later, with consistency, I became a regional manager. Now I have a team of over 60, 70 people and accounting for over $10, $15 million of sales yearly. And 6 months after that, I became a national sales manager. Right. So my progress basically came through a massive power of will. And definitely, I wouldn't go without saying that with the grace of God. You get what I'm saying? Because there are people that work hard yet to not reap the fruit. So at the time, I was blessed to have been spotted by the right people and be given that opportunity. So I went, was a national sales manager. But you know what? When you are hungry, you are hungry. Okay, when you want to be more, you want to be more. So I left the corporate and went to start a company. I started exporting and importing shampoos, and a year later, that business failed. And when it failed, Dr. Casey, it failed violently. It took everything I had built at the time. I mean, at the time, I had my house, I had 2 cars, I was engaged at the time, and it took even that engagement away. I was broke, back to zero. So I was there complaining in the dark, broken into pieces, shredded, thinking, what am I going to do next? And a friend of mine called me. He said, "Shit, listen, I understand that right now you've worked very much, you've sacrificed a lot, and you are where you are right now. But before you fall into that circle of, of victim mindset where you start victimizing everything or blaming everything and everyone around you, I will have 3 questions to ask you. Where are you from? Where are you going? What is your life purpose?" And he hung up. That was it. And he left me with those questions, and I got to think and reflect and reflect. I was like, look, what had got me thus far is not just my ability to sell, but it's my ability to motivate my team, to bring the best out of them, to meet people and make them feel great about themselves. So wait, I might just have a talent for this after all. That was when I started to leave South Africa and go to Asia to actually build my speaking and coaching business. And Dr. Casey, it's been 5 years now. I've spoken in various countries. I've spoken in Dubai, I've spoken in US, I've spoken I'm in Europe now, building, this speaking thing as massive as possible. Okay. I mean, I'm actually talking with an investor currently. His name is Saif Jabbar. We're looking at raising about 300,000 euros. That's about $400,000 to actually scale my business, right? So that's how I got into speaking and coaching. And I say that this is my life purpose. This is my calling. This is what I'm born to do.
So I have to go back and ask, so how did you travel from where your starting point to your destination? Were you hitchhiking? Were you catching buses? I don't know how the transportation system works in Africa. So how was that journey like? How did you travel? Like, what was that journey like?
Yeah, it was a combination of everything you named. It was hitchhiking, it was walking sometimes, and whoever could give you a ride, you pick that ride, and if you can just walk the way, you walk the way. So whatever you could do to get to the next destination, game on.
So is that like, I know you said it's dangerous, but like how dangerous is that to travel through the continent of Africa and South Africa?
Look, Dr. Kaci, I'm very careful when it comes to this because, first of all, I do not want to reinforce this negative perception that people have of Africa, as being a war zone and a place where immediately when you land, everybody's gonna eat you alive. No, 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 that's not the case. Okay, yes, traveling across Africa is dangerous. Okay, just like how it could be dangerous
Right.
in
It can
any
be
part of the
dangerous to
world.
travel across America. I mean, I don't want to um give off that energy. I'm not saying in that sense, but like just in general, like
Yeah,
because I have lived a lot of places.
yeah,
I have traveled across the country here. I have been
yeah,
to war. I've been to Iraq. So, like we
oh, yeah, yeah,
convoyed
yeah.
from Kuwait to the place that we were staying at in Kuwait, in Iraq. And that was dangerous. So I know when you are traveling, and you said sometimes illegally, just that narrative of traveling through unknown places is dangerous.
Definitely, it is. It is dangerous. Look, I mean, so some of the things can be quite graphic. Can be quite graphic because I remember when group of friends of mine and myself and I mean they became friends in the travel. Right, I left alone, but as you travel, you get to meet somebody. Then they become in your case they become. Uh, friends of weapon or something like that. In my case, it became friend of adventure, right? So I remember when we were going to cross. You know, I want to be careful, right? When we cross from Mozambique into South Africa, right? Cross the border and
Right,
stuff,
right, 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 right. I mean,
Um,
listen. I don't know if they have a statute of limitation there, so please do not say nothing that will get you in trouble if the statute of limitation has not passed. Okay, and,
Exactly
I'm
right.
mindful. I know.
Exactly right. But I just want to put it out there that I remember that day, the guys that I was traveling with, we were stopped by law enforcement, and we were all stripped of all our belongings, literally. And only God knows how we managed to cross over, right? So it had been, Dr. Casey, a very much series of challenge along the way. Like I said before, sometimes it's 2 3 days with no food, no water, until we got to the next point, to the next village, you really needed a certain type of mindset to really stay committed to your task, or should I say, to your mission at hand, which in that case to reach your destination and actually transform your life. You know. So yeah, to answer your question, Dr. Casey, it was quite dangerous, but I'm grateful for that today because it has shaped a great deal of who I've become. I wouldn't have a message to say right now. I wouldn't be able to go, to say the things I say right now without going back and taking from there and sharing my lessons.
So, what did you learn specifically through the traveling experience, through your beginning portion of making your life change?
Look, um, I think first of all, you know, as I said before, that nowadays, we have different kind of beliefs. Okay, I mean, some people say, they have self-love, and I mean, I'm not here to judge anybody. Okay, but as for me and my house, I I I wouldn't be where I am right now without the grace of God.
Mhm.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because you're talking about, how dangerous this traveling could be. There were times when, Dr. Casey, I was at the verge of death. Do you get what I'm saying? And probably you know what I'm talking about because you were in some of those situations. There were the times where literally people were being shot on my left, on my right. Do you get what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be alive today talking about this if it wasn't for the grace of God. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, I've experienced times when I don't know what nobody in the area, and somebody will just come out of nowhere and just be merciful to me, and be like, oh, I know this guy. They're like, what you mean you know me, and then the person goes, like, no, come. And then the person will give you shelter, the person will give you food, lead you to your next destination. So my first lesson is God is great. Okay, let's put it like that. That's my first lesson. Okay. Secondly is without commitment, focus, and determination, you can never achieve what you set out to achieve. Because look, I mean, there were many when we started this, like after 2 or 3 countries, I mean, folks were like, no, this is not for me, this is too much. I'm going back home. You get what I'm saying? So you have to really know what you're after. Let me share a story with you, Dr. Casey. When I arrived in SA, things were so tough that SA by SA means South Africa. Things were so tough that I mean, at the time, the phone I was using, it was I don't know if you can remember one of those old Nokia's that had a yellow screen. You can play Snake on it, but mine didn't have a cover for the battery, so I would use a rubber band that one used to hold for the money and hold my battery. And my keyboard was gum, but mine didn't have a keyboard, so I'll have a mattress, in my pocket whenever I rang to take out a mattress and press and pick up the call, and I make sure that ladies don't see that. You know what I'm saying? So remember, when I ran it, and say, I mean, I was so broke that eventually, I made some means and I called home. I called my mom for 18 months. My family thought I was dead,
Oh,
okay,
really?
because they hadn't heard of me. Yeah, yeah. So I called my mom. I was like, Mom, listen, things are so tough. Look, can you borrow some money somewhere and send to me? My mom was like, hey, young man, listen. If you think you're going to be bad and I will be here borrowing money to send you, forget it. Do what you've got to do so you can be what you want to be. Do what you've got to do so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. You know, and she hung up. Hardcore, and she hung up. So until today, that 5-second lesson stuck with me, right? So if you ask me, I'll tell you on my number three list, do what you got to do so that you can be what you want to be. Do what you got to do so that you can achieve what you want to achieve and never give up.
Man, that's the powerful message. So, what was the hardest thing?
Hi, I'm Dr. Kaci, not your typical clinical doctor. I am an ordained minister, but not your typical minister. I am also a certified life coach, love coach, sex coach, solution focused coach, transformation coach, and more. I have a whole lot of information that I would like to help you grow with. And I hope that soon I can help you be the best you that you can be. Confidence, spirituality, and purpose. That's wholeness, complete.
Getting free from, and how did you conquer that challenge?
Dr. Casey, I love your questions. I mean, yeah, I love your questions. This should have you on CNN or something. Yeah,
That'd be great. I would
you
be
know,
open to it.
definitely. I mean, this is gonna happen very soon. Dr. Casey, throughout the journey, if anybody knows the history of South Africa, they'll know that it's been an apartheid country. Apartheid is an institutionalized racism. Okay, it's almost like for the U.S. audience, it's like the era of Jim Crow,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, so that existed in South Africa from 1926 to 1992. Okay, and unfortunately, I don't know about now, but at least the time that I was there, secular of that was still deep in the country, especially in a province like Mpumalanga. Okay. And I happen to be living in that province. Okay. So listen, Dr. Casey, I lived in Togo for almost 18 years and I had never experienced racism among my people. Okay. I was the guy that when I remember when we were kids, and then we see like Europeans, walking by, we'd be singing songs like, hey, white girl, white man, hi, hi, you know what I'm saying? I come to South Africa, and all of a sudden, everything that I had ever known about a white person just crashes. So I worked at a certain place. And by then, during the day, I cleaned the toilets. I sold on the premises. It's a warehouse, construction warehouse, right? I cleaned the premises, and at night I was a security. Okay, so there was no sleeping. Did all in one. Okay, and listen, the owner of this warehouse was extremely abusive and a big racist guy. So one Saturday afternoon, he asked me, I was still tiny, short by then, and he was like, hey, Steve, you go buy your own and offload a container, a 40 feet container by yourself. But now, bear in mind, one pack of cement is 60 kg. Okay. And we're talking what? More than 300, 400 packets of cement offloaded by myself on empty stomach. I worked and worked and worked, and at 11 p.m., I don't know how, but I just passed out, blank, finished. And then the following day, when I came back, Dr. Casey, when he saw me, he wasn't like, hey, are you okay? No, no. Now, this is going to be video, right? They're going to watch this, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Now, when I do this, Dr. Casey, these are beatings, okay? When he saw me, he was like, hey, you bloody monkey. Who do you think you are? You're never going to make it. Now, Dr. Casey, let me tell you something, okay? Before that, I had just been blocked out of the working site because me, the black guy, I said good afternoon to the white secretary of the boss. Okay. Before that, I had just been chased out of a working site because I am a foreign African guy in South Africa. All right. And listen, before that, I had just been scammed of whatever I've saved to make it in the Johannesburg city. So I thought by then I was tough already. Okay, I thought I was bad. I thought I was Rambo 4.
Mm-hmm.
But when Martin's the name of that guy, of the boss of the warehouse, when Martin was down with me, Dr. Casey, I stood in the middle of that court. And you know what? I I just didn't know where the tears came from. I just stood there and I was like, but why? Why this? What is it that I've done? Is it my fault to just want to be successful? To just want to change my course of destiny? What is it that I've done? you know, and that left a scar so deep in me, Dr. Kaci, that even when I had worked through the corporate ladder and gotten to the top, I remember when I received that call from my boss that evening that, hey, Steve, listen, we love what you do. Come to the top. We're going to give you a massive team, okay? Enough resources, enough budgets. You're going to have everything you need to make a national impact in the company. Dr. Kaci, I woke up in the middle of the night with the voices in my head talking, fear, self that low self-esteem. Hey, do you think you can do it? Come on, you know that boy from Togo, Martin was beating the crap out of this few years ago, right? Come on, do you think you can do this? Listen, you know your colleagues are three, four times your age, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So if you ask me, what is the toughest thing that I've gone through that I had to overcome to be what I am right now? It's the same that happened when I wanted to become a speaker. Everybody was telling me that, listen, Steve, nobody's going to hire you to speak. You African. The industry is filled with Americans. You don't have an American accent. Nobody's going to hire you to speak. Let it go. Fear, self, that low self-esteem. So that is what I had to overcome by myself. Do not conform to the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So I had to renew my mind into an area of confidence, trust, faith, and hope, and love for myself and what I do.
Man, that's amazing. So, how would you say from the person you was before to now, how has the experience and challenges changed you as a person?
Yeah,
like mentally, mindset, physically, like how has it changed you?
Well, mindset wise, I think it goes without saying that it has definitely made me Iron Man. Yeah. My nickname is Action Man, but I think I'm gonna add another one, Iron Man, Action Iron Man. you know, yeah. Dr.
Now,
Kaci, I
don't
think
get
it
caught
has
for
definitely.
copyright infringement.
All right, exactly right. Yeah, definitely, I should be careful of that. So yeah, it has definitely made me resilient more than ever. I mean, right now, bring the challenge. I'll eat it and drink water on it. Nom, 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 nom. You get what I'm saying? I'll eat it all. And I think one thing that also life teaches you through those things is that it makes you humble. You understand? Because you get to understand when people are down. You get to understand what it feels like not to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you really get to definitely be what I mean is be empathic, having more empathy towards others, right? And I'm always loving, willing to help wherever possible. Do you get what I'm saying? And definitely being laser focused on my life purpose. No distractions, no nothing. Everything else doesn't matter. As long as I'm fulfilling my purpose and helping others to live more, be more, dream more, that is when I'm coming alive. So that is how I would say mainly it has transformed me as a person.
If there was anything about your life that you can change, would you? What would it be and why?
Wow. You gotta ask me questions that after this interview, people are gonna come and snatch me away. Uh, Dr. Casey, uh, and I'm gonna echo the words of Trevor Noah in this, and in answering this, because Trevor Noah argues that people do say that if it wasn't for the suffering that I've gone through, I would not be appreciative of the progress that I'm experiencing. All right. However, however, the suffering also leaves its scars. You know what I'm saying? It leaves its mind and spiritual scars. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's a reason why a person that grew up in a household where they were throwing numbers around, oh, 1 million for this, $10,000 for this, $100,000 for this. But that person can walk into a room and feel no threats and raise an extra $1 billion. Do you get what I'm saying? I argue that where Elon Musk was born on the same dirty road as I am, was he born next door to me, of that mama that sold, beans and rice on the corner of the street where we went and queued and bought every morning for 10 cents. I argue that it were Elon Musk being born there, he would be where he is right now, having a quiet cheetah for $44 billion. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm talking about a certain conditioning process, right? So if I had to change anything in my past life, I definitely want to make sure that my parents have decent amount of money, okay? But they teach us in a way that you have to work and earn. You get what I'm saying? You have to. You don't just expect things to fall in your lap. But I would love to have started. Not having had to recondition my mind in a way where I let go of my low self-esteem and my doubt and my fears because I'm seeing myself to be the smallest guy in the room. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas that mindset is only an illusion. Do you
Makes
get what I'm
sense.
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So that will definitely be something I will change about myself. And I think that's actually the reality of all the African American out there, to be honest.
So, if there was some advice that you could give our listeners about overcoming and being inspired to change, what advice would you give?
What advice will I give? You know, I've come to understand, Dr. Casey, that in life, the only time you are at your best place is when you have found your calling. Is when you have found what you are born to be. Like how Friedrich Nietzsche says that a man that knows his how can that knows his why, sorry, can endure anyhow. Right? Uh, um, Maya Angelou says two most important days in your life: the day you were born and the day you found out why. You get what I'm saying? So I made this an invitation to everybody to find their why. Because when you find your why, yeah, it's sweet. You get what I'm saying? When you find your why, nothing can ever take you down. You get what I'm saying? When you find your why, life takes a whole different kind of meaning.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. When I, you know, when I was selling vacuum cleaners. Okay, I was in sales. Okay, I was in sales, but you see, that was the seed of me doing what I'm doing today.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I woke up every. Listen, I worked for 3 years, 7 days a week, nonstop. If that wasn't for me, if that wasn't part of my calling, I wouldn't do it with such determination, with throwing at it everything that I can. So listen, if I had to give an advice to everybody right now, is listen to me. One, find the thing that you are meant to be doing. All right. Two, pursue it with all your might. Throw everything at it. Okay. Come back tomorrow. Come back the following day. Eat and lock the gate. Go through the ceiling. You get what I'm saying? Go through the ceiling and do what you got to do and live and achieve free of fear, self doubt, and low self esteem. Because if the enemies outside can do you no harm if there are no enemies within. And the enemies within are nothing more than those three toughest demons: fear, self doubt, and low self esteem.
Listen, I totally agree that because one thing that we have to remember is that you may do something that you might not have seen yourself doing, but it could be the very step that take you where you're supposed to go so that you could be in full alignment with your life. So it's very important to sometimes definitely go in the doors that might not look like the door that you wanted to venture into, but it
Oh,
may
yeah.
possess everything that you prayed for. And so I definitely am overexcited by your story and your journey. It is definitely a story of champions. So before we go, I would like for you to tell us about your books and if you have a podcast and what other products do you have to offer?
Well, what I would invite you to do is to go on Amazon. And when you're listening to this, you gotta go on Amazon and search for Stephen Dossou, Dossou, and look for Be Transformed: How to Live Free of Fear, Self Doubt, and Low Self Esteem. Look, going from home. Okay, and when I say home, I'm talking about home country, Togo, West Africa, and I've been to different places, and it's 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 a story of ups and downs, struggles and successes, right, for over 10 years. Okay. And through that, there has been, a strong inner battle, right? Like these famous authors say that the most toughest battles are not the one that happens outside, but the ones that happen within. You know, and if you want to become a different person, if you are searching for the light, this is the book for you. This is the book that's going to teach you, inspire you, motivate you to be more, dream more, live more. You get what I'm saying? To become somebody else that is in you right now. Yet all the fears, yet all the doubts, yet the low self-esteem is holding back from releasing. You get what I'm saying? And that book is going to do what it's going to make you rediscover, release, and maximize your God-given potential. Get that book, get that book, get that book. And you know what? When you get that book, take a picture, send it to me, and I personally will spend an hour with you to coach you, right? On how you can put together effective strategies. I do coaching. I speak to companies. I do one-on-one, big group coaching as well. Okay. And I want to share some things with you. How can you build an iron mind? How can you build a resilient mind that stops at nothing? All right. That's me right there. That's my story, and I'm sticking to that.
And how do we find you on social media?
Stephen Dossou, STEVEN on Instagram is Stephen_Dossou. You know what? Just go on Google. I think to make it easy for you, just go on Google and type in Stephen Dossou, STEVENDOSSOU, and all of that will come up. Okay, my website will be there. All the freebies that I have will also show up for you. My TEDx talk will be there. You can watch that too. And listen, give me a shout. I love interacting with people. I love talking. I love inspiring new people. I love supporting people to be more, dream more, live more. Give me a shout and let's do something awesome.
So the final question, what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom. Oh, God, freedom. Freedom to me, Dr. Kaci, freedom to me is being able to create, design, and live a life that is meaningful and purposeful for you. Do you get what I'm saying? Not a life that your father and your mother has imagined for you, like how my father wanted me to be a lawyer and a doctor. All right. Not a life that your boyfriend or girlfriend wants you to be and fit in. All right. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the life in which you feel that you can go on a story of 35 stories. I mean, build up 35 stories and just jump off with your wings. You get what I'm saying? Live a life that gives you that kind of confidence. That's what freedom means to me. Do you get what I'm saying? A life that you can be true to. That's what freedom means to me.
Now, with your last analogy, I just want to let everybody know, please, we do not want you to jump off any building.
Don't jump. Don't jump.
if you would like to jump, please dial the suicide awareness hotline at 1-800. I believe it is 1-800-SUICIDE. Definitely ending on a great note. I really appreciate your story, your transparency, and your ability to motivate others so effortlessly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kaci, for having me. You're the best.
All right, everybody. That's the end of the show and your journey to freedom. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Kaci, Dr. Kaci. Welcome to Speaking Freedom. We are happy to have you, and we hope that we're able to help you in every way possible. Have a good evening. If you've enjoyed this video, like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. New episode every Friday.